sweet home, Chicago. Oh, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go back to Atlanta, California, my sweet home, Chicago. And 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 4. I'm heavy loaded, baby, I'm booked, I gotta go. Crying, baby, baby, don't you wanna go back to Atlanta, California, my sweet home, Chicago. Now 2 and 2 is 4, 4 and 2 is 6. You keep going monkeying around here, friend boy, you know your business is all in a trick. I'm crying, baby, honey, don't you wanna go back to Atlanta, California, my sweet home, Chicago. Girl, baby, baby, don't you wanna go? Oh, come on, baby, baby, don't you wanna go? Go back to Atlanta, California, my sweet home, Chicago. Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out Sweet Home Chicago. I'm going to show you a few different ways to approach the tune. We're going to look at an easy beginner version using a basic shuffle pattern. I'm going to go into a bit more detail on the original Robert Johnson version, not exactly like the minute high level because there's lots of stuff going on there, subtle things to check out. I'm going to show you the basic part, and then if you want to delve a little deeper into it, you can get listening to the original recording. And I'm going to talk about some of the key features of this song that you might want to be aware of if you ever played it at a blues jam. So let's get started with an easy beginner version. Before we get into the main part of the lesson, I'd like to ask you a little favor. YouTube shows me that the majority of people who enjoy my videos don't actually hit that subscribe button. It makes a huge difference to the growth of the channel and inspires me to keep making loads of free content for you here on my songs channel. So if you dig what I do, please hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Thanks. Sweet Home Chicago is a 12-bar blues in the key of E. It's using this kind of basic shuffle pattern, something that I teach on my beginner course. If you're not familiar with this, then go and check out the beginner course lessons on a 12-bar blues shuffle. We'll teach you how to do this well with all the little tips of palm muting and all of that stuff. So the basic chord progression is going E, 2, 3, 4, then to A, what you wanna go, and then back to E for 2 bars. There's the second bar, then back to A. Oh baby, baby, don't you wanna E? 2, 3, 4, 2, 2. Then it's going to B, 7 for 1 bar, then to A, then to E, and back to B7. Now notice here, really important thing is that the shuffle, the little, I call it a chunka pattern, that is happening on the E and the A, but not on the B7. It's possible to play it on a B7 like this, but for most beginners, that's going to be a real nasty little stretch there, and most people don't do it that way. Most times when most people are playing a 12-bar blues in the key of E, they put the shuffle on the E and the A, and when it comes to the B7, they play the B7 chord. Okay, so it's totally legit just to be playing the B7 there. Now I hear on the original recording this low F sharp note on the B7 as well. So I suspect what Robert Johnson's done is put his second finger down there in the middle of those 2 strings. So you get this kind of B7. It gets a little bit rattly, but that's kind of fine for this style. Or you can just play, regular B7 is fine, and just keep the pattern going. So just like you're doing this, all down to 1 and 2 and A, E, 2, 3, 4, B7. Again, no, come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go back to the land of California, my sweet home Chicago? Now, I feel like I should mention as well, I'm using a thumb pick in this lesson. I don't normally use a thumb pick. It's not really been my thing. But I've been practicing this style of music a little bit the last couple of weeks, and I've got a big blister on the side of my thumb, and I thought, okay, maybe I should check out the thumb pick thing. And I've managed to accumulate quite a few over the years, and I pulled them all out, started trying them on, and I discovered this one. It's made by Black Mountain. They sent it to me to try out probably a couple of years ago, and it's just been in my drawer. I don't know why I didn't get it out sooner. It's basically a regular pick shape, which I really like, but it's got this kind of spring-loaded clip thing that clips onto the thumb, so it never kind of feels too tight. That was one of the things I often felt before. They felt kind of like my finger was going to go blue or something, and if I didn't put it on hard enough to make my finger sore, then it didn't feel like it was connecting well with the string. So yeah, really good job on this pick here, Black Mountain. This is not a sponsored video or anything like that. They literally they just send it to me for free, but just to try it out, I think. But yeah, I really like it. So you can definitely play this with a regular pick if you wanted to do like a beginner version. If you're going to do the Robert Johnson fingerstyle thing, which we're going to dig into in a sec, then you can either just use your thumb or you can choose to use a thumb pick. I do feel like, having mucked around with this morning, that it's easier than I thought it would be. I don't know why. I always just avoided them. I thought they were going to be too difficult, but actually maybe it's just the fact that it's a regular pick shape has made it simpler for me, but you might want to go and check that out. So let's get started on the Robert Johnson version of this song. So the Robert Johnson intro. Now, there's quite a few different things going on here. The main idea here is this descending bass note with the root note stuck here on the top. So little finger is on the 12th fret of the thinner string, and we're doing like a shuffle rhythm. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. I'm using my middle finger here, but you could use your first finger. I don't think it really matters. And then third finger is going down the 12th fret on the 4th string, and then it's descending, so I'm using my second finger, first finger, and first finger. On that last one, usually it goes to this kind of little E7, which is a bar with the first finger on the 9th fret, with third finger down on the 10th fret, right? I'm going to show you a simplified version of this in a second, but and on that last one, I'm playing the 4th string with my thumb, 2nd string, and the thinner string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 triplet 3. And here there's an open string. I think it might be the open D and E on the original recording. I never seem to play that, but then we've got this to B7, 2 triplet 3, 4, and then there's just 2, 3 and 4 is just a down strum. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 triplet 3, 4. And then we're into the song again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 triplet 3, 4. And then we're into the tune. Now, the key element here is this descending line. So you could just go straight into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4. And this one, remember, because this is the root note, you could change the key very easily. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. The key thing is here starting on beat 2 with this note. So if you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you got to the B7 on beat 2 of that second bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not the Robert Johnson one. He's going twice as long. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 triplet 3. So he's making it a little bit harder. So let's get into that chorus now. So we start with the E, basic shuffle to A, but it's nearly always this one where we go up to the 5th fret. Now, some people like to use their little finger. I find it just as easy to move my whole hand up. I always used to teach it that way, but that way feels kind of easier. And the older I get, the lazier I get. And then we're back to E. But there's this really nice thing that happens here. You're playing the thinner string. And we've got this open G string. And then a hammer on with the first finger going on there as well. It's one of the key little things of this style that most people put in there if they're playing it. So it's gone from the A, 2, 3, 4. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1. So it's 4 trip. This is happening on the trip. 4 triplet, 1. 4 trip, and it stops. So it gets muted. It doesn't just ring out. Can I ring it? You can ring it out if you want, but it sounds cooler to me to stop. 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1. I'd spend a bit of time just working on that. Remember, you're trying to keep the bass nice and consistent. It's really hard to... I always talk about trying to automate stuff like that, but me trying to describe what I'm doing while keeping the shuffle going and picking out those strings, that is super tricky. Anyway. I'd give a bit of time just doing that. It's one of those little things. It's just a small detail, but it really makes, for me, that tune. It's one of those, like, I often heard that and never kind of figured out how to do it. It's definitely worth thinking, just that, nice and simple. 1, 2, 3, and 4 triplet, 1, and 2, 3. 4 triplet, 1, and yeah, I'm playing the thinner string there as well. So you get those two ringing out together. 1, 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1. And also worth noting here is that I've got a bit of palm mute there on those thicker strings. So I can still get that muted part here, but with the clear strings ringing out here. Kind of makes it sound like it's more than one guitar. So come on, A chord with the shift up to the 5th fret, then this fill. Come on, back to the A with the 5th fret. Baby, don't you wanna go E with our little riff. Back to the land of California. Now we're on our B7 again. Like I said, I hear the F sharp on the bass, but it doesn't really matter. You can play just regular B7 if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. This is first finger 7th fret on the thinner string, second finger 8th fret on the second string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I think it might actually play it 1 and 2 and 3. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, we'll talk about the turnaround in a second. So Note that there's this little quarter tone bend. I call it a blues curl. Then open second string, second finger, second fret of the second string, thinner string. Then you can play that thicker string after, before we get to the little turnaround part. Let's get all of the way up to the turnaround. The turnaround is probably the most complicated bit. So 3, 4, we are E with a shuffle, A and going to 5th fret and back to E with our riff here. Come A to the 5th fret, baby don't you wanna E with the fill. Back to the B7 of California, the lick. There we go. So this little really common little fill list, popular blues riff, nice one to manipulate lots of different ways, as we're going to do here. The most basic version, second finger, 4th fret of the 3rd string, first finger, 3rd fret of the 2nd string. We play 3rd string, 2nd string, thinner string. Move it back 1 fret, back 1 fret, and then we've got that's R-E. 1, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. Note that we've got this kind of theme going on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. All of these kind of riffs, these descending things, tend to start on beat 2. So, Sweet Home Chicago, 1, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. And then just to a B7. You can play full B7. I often play B7 without the thinner string, and it just ends up getting muted by something underneath. And again, with the F sharp on the bottom there, if you want. Okay. Now, as well, this is the kind of, that would be the kind of standardized version. It's not what Robert Johnson played. On the first chord, he plays the triplet. On the second chord, he plays strings 2 and 3 first, and then just the thinner string. Then he plays the chord all at once, and then you've got this little 3rd string open, and then the first finger hammer on, and then the thinner strings. So you end up with 1, 2 triplet, 3 and 4 and 1. After the descending line, it goes to a B7. Now I often play it as this first note. I play 4 notes there, and I play this first note on the and after 1. So 1 and 2 triplet, 3, 4. And it's just a habit I've got into. I think the original Robert one is going just 1 triplet. Sorry, on beat 2. So 1, 2 triplet. So a little down strum on beat 2. Then the 3rd string, 2nd string. And then there's just the pulses again, but it's muted. 1, 2 triplet, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 3, 4. I find it so hard to do it because I've done it so long, slightly differently. So I'm going 1, 2 triplet, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 triplet, 3, 4. But I think the original one, you could do whichever one you want. I don't think it really matters a great deal. I think on the original version it goes 1, 2 triplet, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 triplet, 3. So he just does a bigger strum on beat 2, 1, 2 triplet, 3, 4. This is the kind of detail that probably doesn't really matter. I'm going into more detail than you probably need to be able to play the song. So let's go through the whole thing now, including the intro, but nice and slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 triplet, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A with the climb up, back to E with the riff. 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and back to A with a step up. Baby, don't you wanna go to the B7, the home of California. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So verse 2 is more or less identical. Very interesting as well, because Robert Johnson worked on arrangements. He was one of the first blues guys to really formulate the way that he played into a kind of an organized arrangement. A lot of his contemporaries would have been playing things quite differently each time. He worked out stuff. He knew that this was how it was going to be. And so you find that most of these different verses are pretty accurately the same. So it starts with 2 choruses. The next bits where he gets a little bit more wordy with 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 and 4 stuff, it's no longer a quick change blues, so it stays on the E. So we get to this, you could call it verse 3. I think the first one's a choruses because they're the same each time. Again, semantics. Okay, once we get to 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 4. I'm heavy loaded, baby. I'm booked. I gotta go. It's staying on the E all of the way through. Now we're back to the A. Baby, don't you wanna go back to our home in California, my sweet home, Chicago. The next verse is the same. It's not a quick change blues. It stays on that E chord, but then it goes back to the chorus where, of course, we're going to the A in the second bar of the sequence. Now, if you were going to get up and play this tune at a blues jam night, the key details that I think you should remember: 1, it's usually played in the key of E. Not always. There are examples of people playing it in other keys, but most commonly, especially in a blues jam night, it's going to be played in the key of E. It's usually played as a quick change, so you've got an A chord there in the second bar. If you're playing with people who know what they're doing, they're likely to revert to the standard 12-bar blues form when it gets to the verses. Now 1 and 1 is 2 part. The variation of that, of course, is playing a stab on beat 1 of those first 4 bars. So 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 4. I'm heavy loaded, baby. I'm booked. I gotta go. Singing, hey. That's very, very common. I think it's from the Blues Brothers version. So that's a real common thing to be aware of. Now, for the intro and the turnaround, it's usually that descending thing. So noticing in the intro, this movement, it's also, or same thing, it's descending. There are lots of other descending things. I think that the descending line there, the descending turnaround, intro and ending probably are key features of this song. It's less likely to be going in this song. It just doesn't feel like it's the right thing. It is a descending lick again there at the beginning, but it's not kind of stylistically maybe right. But of course, it's the blues. It's very open to interpretation. It would definitely be the kind of song where I would encourage you to find your own way of playing it and explore, licks and things that you want to bring to the tune. But also, I feel like it's a good idea to listen to some of the history of the song, listen to different people playing different versions of it, and really try and absorb the feeling of the song. Definitely you want to be checking out the original Robert Johnson version. It's just a magnificent piece of music. Really hope you enjoy this one, and I'll see you plenty more very soon. You take care out there. Bye-bye.